Hi guys, welcome back to yet another video. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know how it goes, man. It's another week. Let's go let's go face the markets. Let's go fix our wrongs, right our wrongs from the previous week. I mean, if the previous week was successful, yeah, happy for you and keep going, man. Keep it up. But then if you were still like a little bit off of the markets and the moves that happened, you didn't really see them coming, or the moves you had anticipated didn't really take place, it's okay. The biggest thing is you're still here, you're still showing up, to better the skill of trading and to get better every single time. So I'm not even about to get into all of that. I'm gonna be breaking down GBPUSD. By now, you already know that this is the first pair that I analyze every single time, right? And these analyses are not even meant to be too long. I know, like previously, I always say this, but trust me, I don't want the analysis to be too long. But if I see something or I recognize something from the past experiences I've had with the markets, I'll point it out and try my best to explain and actually like lay down to you guys and tell you guys what I think and what happens most of the time. And no matter how long it takes me to explain, I'm still gonna explain because I feel like there's somebody out there listening, trying to understand certain concepts, and somebody who's really paying attention and actually watching my video while trying to analyze the chart too, and they could really do with some extra information and some valuable information that's gonna help them improve their trading. And so yeah, so let's just get into it, man. I'm just happy that you guys are here again this week. I do these analysis weekly. I'm gonna start with the lowest low. you know, for a while now, I didn't understand why price came to this lowest low until I moved to the left a bit. And then I saw this low right here that happened in 85. I know it doesn't matter right now, but we have equal lows now. We have something out of the weird low that we had right here. We know that okay, it's not just out of nowhere. It's a law that happened very, very long time ago, and then the price went to go retest. But then zooming in, we can understand that okay, ever since that law was made, price has reversed, price has reversed right here. This is the way the low happened, and price reversed right here. And when you zoom in, you'll clearly see that we had a beautiful, beautiful downtrend that had consistent lower lows, lower highs. Like it was a healthy trend right here. It was a healthy trend right here. And right now, we just have to zoom in and see what the GBPUSD is trying to do. Looks like it's very bullish, and we don't know where the momentum is gonna end up, because there's a couple of areas where price could really turn, or price could really touch from here. This is the lowest low, so ain't no telling where price is gonna go after that. Let's go to the daily. Let's go to the daily and see. Excuse me. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend, man. Weekends are just for me personally. I don't want to see the charts on weekends. I know this is very, very this is not how a trader, like this is not how a typical trader thinks. A trader thinks like on weekends, like that's when I work, the extra hours I put in. That's true, you know. If you can do that, that's good for you. That's good for you and stuff. But me, like at the end of the day, man, you shouldn't make everything in your life about trading. Weekend is for me to just, spend time with my loved ones and just give them time, because already during the week, I'm just too focused on this thing. It's like I'm not even in the house. So I use weekends to just, go out there, not even go out, just, be with family, give them attention, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very clear that we are on an uptrend, and the uptrend obviously started here. If you don't understand that concept already, please go check out my previous videos, because if you've been tapped in, you know that as soon as this line was broken, price was going up. Price was bullish. So we can say the daily trend is bullish. You can type that. Let me just type it out. Let me be consistent with with what I introduced you guys to, because I know at the beginning, if you've been tapped in, you know that I always preached that have this on your chart. Have this on your chart, because it'll keep you in check. It'll keep you grounded. As soon as you start making decisions that are counter to the trend, you must come back to, you must reconsider, or just deeply analyze, because sometimes you might be on a daily bullish trend, but on your 4 hour, on your 1 hour, you see a young pullback, even though it's too risky to trade against the trend. But sometimes if you see an opportunity and you can manage yourself very well during that specific trade, why not do it? One trade, let me tell you something that I've learned. In the grand scheme of things, one trade doesn't really matter, right? It's just like you just taking up data, or it's just you building your edge, basically, so that next time when you see something like that, you know how it goes, or you have an idea of how it goes, right? So yeah, if we can look, I know I keep going off topic, but bear with me, guys. If you look to the left, you can clearly see that this level is pretty, it's pretty significant. It was a resistance area, right? It was a resistance price right here. Price came here, just touched it, tapped a little bit, and then started dropping and made the lowest low, right? And the second interaction price had with this line, it was also, there was also a resistance, but the resistance didn't really push price to make a new low this time, because price is on an uptrend, right? But guess what? This area now is a higher high. This area is a higher high, which is broken now clearly, right? And this is our most recent wave, as you can see, of the uptrend, or the bullish trend, right? So now price broke out of this line, which was supposed to be a resistance based off what it been based off its interaction with price previously. Let me just mark it. And if you look closely, you'll see that this is actually a wave, lower high, lower low. But then it doesn't really hold that significance. I mean, it does, since it's price is respecting it for the second time right here on the higher high. And right now, because price looks like it's about to retest, we don't know if it's going to break back inside, or it's just going to retest the line and continue being bullish, So as far as the interaction with the market, this wave is important, but then to determine the trend, we know we don't use this one. We use the most previous one, which is this one, right? The most recent one, which is this one, and it was violated. So, and one thing I've realized this recently, that now the waves that are really impactful after, or after the violation of the most recent ones, is the waves that happen right before the most recent ones. I don't know if I make sense. For example, in this case, this wave obviously was violated, but then now this wave is holding. You understand? It's holding. It's looking like it's gonna even become a flip zone, because resistance it might become support. That's a flip zone. So it carries a lot of weight. At this point, it carries more weight than the waves we usually use to identify the trend, or determine the trend, or to check if the trend is broken or what. Because if you look at this level, this is what we would have used to check if we are bullish or what, right? If you look at this level, it was barely respected, broken, 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 barely retested. You understand what I'm saying? So just open your eyes and be aware of that. It's a new pattern that I've just like, realized and noticed, and I'm still gonna study it and see how I can, use it to my advantage, because that's what we do in the markets. We are scientists, um, when we are in the lab trying to build a formula, in this case an edge, you need to take everything into account, man, and see what can work best for you. Like as soon as you are observant and you see developments in the charts or in the markets, you have to go do your homework, so yeah, let's go to the 4 hour. I'm gonna keep my analysis as simple as possible, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. I just, so far we have a clear vision of what's happening. It gets clearer and clearer every time we scale down to the lower time frames. What can we say? What can we say? What do we see here? What do we see here? I see price trying to retest this level, this high area. I see price trying to retest this area before it actually continues to the upside. What do you think? That's what I see. That's what I see right now. Something like this. That's what I see. But then remember what I always say. Our job is not to predict, but to react, right? What are we going to react to in this case? We're going to need more instruments on the chart to guide us, and that's usually what? The trend line. You understand? That's usually the trend line, and here's my trend line. And here's my trend line right here. Here's my trend line right here. It has to be very, very specific, because you need to pay attention so that you can catch those snapper entries. So we had our first touch. Let's make it blue. First touch, second touch, and the second touch made it's only a second touch because it broke the highs, so it's valid, super valid, right? So now what we are hoping for is for price to either retest this, find some significance on this level, right? On this level, right? The line, to be specific, the horizontal line, or to go all the way to the trend line for the third touch. Which one is most likely to happen, guys? Which one is most likely to happen? I think we're only gonna have an answer to that as soon as we lay our eyes on the dollar index. It's gonna give us a clue. The dollar index is gonna give us a clue, and I'm gonna just I'm gonna do the video for the dollar index right after this. I know I'll be dropping the video late, because when I record this video, I tell you guys that I'm dropping the dollar one right after this, and then I end up dropping it the following day. It's just that I look at the numbers, After uploading, I look at the reaction, I look at the response. If only maybe 5 people, I know we're starting small, and I should just appreciate the views that I get and the subscribers and stuff. I know, and that's what I'm doing. But that's how the algorithm works on YouTube. You need to drop a video, give it space, give it time to just be on the algorithm and stuff like that. And then when you drop the other one, you already have a little bit of momentum, so that's what I be doing most of the time. Hence the back-to-back, you'll find out that people don't really watch this one, the GBPUSD video, and then what's going to appear on the algorithm or whatever is going to be the dollar one. So now it's not going to make sense. You understand? I know that you guys understand. I know that you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is what we have on the 4 hour. right? Obviously, at first glance, you see your consolidation, your correction before the impulse happens again, which we are hoping to catch. But I'm trying to just break something down for you guys real quick on what happened and what I've recently been learning. I know maybe a lot of you guys, well, I know that a lot of you guys have been, maybe, okay, most of you probably are familiar with this concept, but then I'm just going to point it out right now. I told you guys, I don't plan for the videos to be too long, but then I just have a lot to say. So let's look at the price action that happened here in the past week. The highs were made, right? These are the highs. These are the highs. When you look to your left-hand side, where can you say the highs stemmed from? I wouldn't say this area. Would you say this area? No, these are completely out of the blue. I'm not even lying. What am I doing now? These are out of the blue, guys. I don't even wanna, try and look on the far left. These are out of the blues, so sharp. We have the highs, and then I want you to look at the price action from that. Maybe you guys are aware of this, but I'm recently learning that, the concept, right? The highs were made, at this point, the buyers lost momentum, right? Buyers lost momentum. The sellers are a little bit strong, and excuse me, the sellers are a little strong. They could see that this right here is an opportunity for us to enter. All these candles, the rejections, and the loss of momentum, basically, right? Okay, price created lower high, lower low, and when it did that, obviously, what do we think as traders, especially retail traders? We're like, okay, soon as this level forms, if I sell here, I know this is a lower high. Price is gonna go, and this trend is gonna be valid as soon as, well, this trend is gonna be valid as long as this level is not broken, right? And then price moves to the downside, and guess what? Price makes lower low, right? Let me just type everything. Lower high. Let me make it small though. Lower high, right? This is our lower high. This is our lower low. Lower low. Okay. Now we are like, okay, if as a seller, if you entered here, you know that you're in a downtrend, right? And when you put your stop loss here, you know that you're protected. And when this level is broken, that's where you know that, okay, this trend is invalidated. All right. And then guess what? We make new lows. Now you're like, okay, now I'm truly holding. Now I'm truly holding. My stop loss is safe, it's super safe. Most of us would even trial the stop loss to protect our profits, right? Right. That's why we have this. This was for what's happening. This rejection right here is for those who started trialing the stop losses. Liquidity went to go grab them real quick. Like the sellers wanted more liquidity to take price to the downside, and the people who started scaling or trialing the stop losses got taken out real quick right here. and then price dropped a little bit. It broke these lows right here, right? These lows were broken, and price made new lows. These are the new lows, right? So obviously, for those who entered here, there's people who entered during this candle. There's people who entered here. If you pay close attention, you'll see that they attempted to even make equal highs. Let me see. These are the equal highs. These are the equal highs. Right? So the people who entered here obviously had their stop losses here as well, or just above, just above the rejection. So wherever you see this is the liquidity, right? This is where the market makers or the big, the big players in the market found liquidity, right? Right? Because as soon as you enter here as a seller, you have your stop loss right above this rejection, right? So this is where we all put our stop losses and stuff. And then boom, we had this candle now. We had this candle now mitigating all, or just like grabbing all the liquidity that was in the market. The ones that put their stop losses right after this candle, the ones that started, that put their stop losses above the lower high, this right here, this wave, and price went back to the highest high, right? And then look at how much it rejected. So this, what happened here? What happened here is what we call a liquidity grab. That's why I said in my previous video, I was like, whenever you try to enter a trade, look at your trade from a hater's perspective. That's what I say usually. Somebody who doesn't want you in the market but wants your money so that they can advance their plans, right? Look at your entry and your position from that perspective, and ask yourself, if I was to be the opposite the opposite player or an opponent to this entry, where would I trap this guy? And then until that moment or that move happens, do not enter. That's where the patient comes into play. Being patient as a trader, that's where it comes into play. That's where it comes into play. Being patient plays a huge role into trading, because if you waited for all the liquidity, all the stop losses that you would have said, or all the entries that you would have entered, if you waited for them to be like destroyed first, wait for them to be destroyed first, because there's always going to have, like, the market makers are always going to need liquidity to move the market from one place to another, right? So you cannot say, I mean, if you miss a trade, you miss it, but it's always better to be safe. It's always better to account for these type of movements, right? It's always better to account for these type of movements. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to break down to you guys, that like the most significant levels, or the most significant price areas in the markets, those are where money is. Those are the levels where money is, because as soon as we see this wave forming, we understand that, okay, we are in a downtrend. And then guess what? Another wave forms. Now we are sure about what we are saying. We're like, okay, this is a downtrend for sure. And then obviously this candle goes to now take out the stop losses of the people who were trialing the stop losses, or the people who just entered as soon as this candle broke out. As soon as this candle broke out, people maybe entered during this candle, put their stop losses right above the open of the candle, they got taken out, right? And then price, there's a couple of rejections here. I know there's people who thought they were smarter than the market and entered after this candle, and they thought the liquidity grab was over, right? Entered somewhere here or just around this area, as soon as price rejected, because they were like, okay, if these highs or the open of this candle is not violated, we're still good to go to the downside. So if you didn't take your profit somewhere here, you see the momentum is lost a little bit. Price still has to go up to the upside to go get the liquidity here, right? So this liquidity that was grabbed here, this is the stop losses of the people who entered during this candle, and then during this candle as well. This is also the people who entered as early as this area right here. even the ones who entered at the highest high, you know, they were also shaken. They were also intimidated by this move, right? And then price came back to the downside, started moving to the downside now. Now we pretty much get it that, okay, price is on a correction phase, right? So what we see now as price creating this, I know I'm talking too much, but guys, I told you, right? First touch, second touch. The third touch was fake. It was a huge fake out. Look at the fake out on the 4 hour. Imagine how it looks on the 1 hour. You know, so yeah, that's really what happened. The price action here, that's my understanding of what happened between the retail traders and the institutional traders. And right now, as you can see, first, second, I don't know if price is gonna respect this line still. I mean, we can say it respected the line since it didn't close outside of the line. It was just like a, you know, a fake out. So the line still holds. Let's see if we can get a dead touch before we go to the downside, because I am not convinced that price will reverse from this point here, going to the upside. I don't know. That's just me. Let's go down to the 1 hour. I know this video is going to be long, but if you got to this, you know, this point of the video, appreciate you, man. Hopefully you got something. Hopefully I'm not wasting your time, you know. Yeah, this is the line we have. Let's see if price really respects it. And I told you guys, ain't no telling what's gonna happen until we lay our eyes on the dollar, right? Until we lay our eyes on the dollar. Let's see what happened here. Okay, those are the. There's also another opportunity that the market makers saw right here. This was gonna be equal. Well, this was okay. Never mind, because this was violated as soon as this low was made. So it doesn't matter. So right now, what I'm thinking is, I'm just gonna try and, you know, give us a little idea, not even an idea, but like I'll just tell you my thought process or my you know, my 2 cents on what's gonna happen or what's about to happen in GBPUSD. So right now we see, let me just do this. Let me make it read. Now from the red vertical line, we can see that price is dropping, and it even formed a wave, right? We cannot ignore the wave. You cannot ignore the wave. Lower high. Let's make it red. Let's not make it too big. Let's not make it too big of a deal. Lower high and the lower low. Excuse me. This is the lower low right here. So we have a whole wave forming from this manipulation right here, right? At this point, we don't, like, if you're out of the market, you're taken out, it's fine. I'm sure you're not even looking at the markets, but there's a lower low, there's a lower high, right? And then price broke the lower low. So this wave is valid, right? And for the people who entered here, they probably took the profits somewhere down there, you know. But then now this area is very important, right? Because if you break this area, right? If you break this area, the downtrend is invalidated, right? That's where the sellers, if there's any swing, sellers that are still holding the sells, right? Or the market makers are probably still have sell positions, but then now they still need more liquidity to drop the price even lower, right? That's just like what I think, right? So be careful what price does when it gets here. It might fake out because it knows that there's people who have the entries here, or their orders, their sell orders, or there's people who have their stop losses here, right? And there's people who have their buy orders here, because a buyer knows that as soon as the lower high of a downtrend is broken, it means we are bullish. You understand? So there's a whole lot of liquidity. That's a significant area right here. Anything could happen because the buyers are looking to buy as soon as the lower high is broken, right? That's the liquidity number one. The stop losses of the sellers who entered here and who think the downtrend or this wave will hold. That's the liquidity number two. And then there's also sellers who are trying to sellers who are trying to catch the highs, trying to catch an entry here, especially because there's this line, right? Especially because there's this line, 1, 2, the third touch. There's those sellers now, right? So there's a whole lot of liquidity on this area that you need to see something dramatic happen before you enter a trade that you can be comfortable in. There has to be a drastic move in the market for you to be okay, to be comfortable entering a trade, like something like this. I know it's not going to happen all the time, but then look at what happens after that. Imagine if you entered after this, you know that you're safe. There isn't much drawdown after that. You understand? So that's the aim. That is the aim. I always tell you guys that I always aim for sniper entries, and that's the patience you should have if you want to catch one of those, right? So right now we can say, okay, if we missed the high, all right, if we missed the high, it's cool. Our next signal is gonna be when this line is broken. That's the next signal after maybe missing the high right here. A potential maybe double top or a potential fake out to take all the the liquidity that's around this area. Yeah. If we miss that, we know that okay, 1, 2, 3, third touch, if price breaks, we know that okay, we are valid to go to the downside. Can even add, but I'm not a fan of adding the resistance of the line. I only need the support to be broken for me to know that we're going to the downside. But then going to the downside, we don't even know where it's going to end. We don't know where the price is going to start. Let me see if I do not trade this, this pattern anymore, guys, because it hurt it hurt me a couple of times. So if I happen to enter when this line breaks, I'd put my profit, my take profit somewhere here, and then wait for price to now show me that okay, we are ready to go to the upside. This would be my target, even though we might even miss it because it's too obvious. Price might even miss it because it's just too obvious of a target, But this is where I would put my TP if I was to, if price was to break this line, because there's also liquidity here. There's also liquidity in this zone here. Don't get it twisted. Let me show you. There's also liquidity here. The buyers have their stop losses below this line. The buyers have their stop losses like below around this zone, right? So we already have equal 1, 2. We can say these are equal lows. Price might come and come still the or grab the liquidity that's here, all the stop losses of the buyers before it actually goes up. So hence I'm gonna have my TP before price even while price is on this level, because I know it's definitely, if it's gonna come to this level, it's definitely breaking the equal lows to go get the stop losses and then go up. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be looking at on GBPUSD. I know this is now a long video because I'm speaking, I talk a lot, and most of the time I know I have I have a little bit of a challenge expressing myself. I'm gonna work on that. I know I'm new to this, guys. Please bear with me. I'm willing to improve for you guys. I'm willing to, give you the best content, give you the most valuable content you'll ever find on the internet, you'll ever find about, especially if you're a beginner, not a beginner, but an intermediate trader that probably thinks they missed something for them to be consistently profitable. That's not true. You don't miss anything, bro. Um, you just like you're looking for what you think you're missing. You're looking for it in the wrong place, right? In the wrong places. You should start looking for whatever you're possibly missing inside of you, right? In your heart, in your mind, your mindset, and your psychology when approaching the market. Like the moment you enter the market, you must start thinking about how many people are into this thing, right? Must start thinking about like you are trading against computers here. You're trading against the most smartest people on earth. So trading is hard, and also don't be too hard on yourself. When you trade, make sure that everything is accounted for. Like that's where like your journaling comes into play, trading plan and everything. Having rules, having confluences, having trading principles. Right now, see how this price is moving. If I was still a beginner, I was gonna enter this buy here, the touch buy, right? But then I know it's not gonna be as sweet. It's not gonna be as sweet, even though like it's gonna be by the trend line. Might fake out a little bit, catch the liquidity, because there's also liquidity, guys. The sooner you accept that there's always ops. Or in whatever you do, there's always ops, there's always haters. The haters know that you see this trend line and you're gonna try and enter as soon as price touches the line. They will leave you to enter, even reject a little bit, and then break just to get to your stop loss. When you're taken out, they go back inside. You understand? So always trade with that mindset, and then you're gonna account for everything and manage your risk as well, so that you can actually see the results of your execution, the results of your edge. Because the first rule is just to survive. If you can survive, and then you can always fight another day. So yeah, guys, that's it from me on the GBPUSD. Keep your eyes open. Your key areas is where you have your dollar sign. The dollar sign is liquidity, where they catch, this is where they catch you lacking. This is where they catch you lacking, guys. So just open your eyes and yeah, manage your risk, and yeah, let's have a beautiful week. Thank you. Oh, wait. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially if you find this content valuable and helpful. And if you have any tips that you would like to give to me, I would gladly appreciate that. Just, in the comment section, please let me know what you think. That's going to keep me going. And that's going to also, help me improve on the aspects that you need me to improve on, right? But yeah, I really appreciate you for getting to this point of the video, and yeah, have a blessed week and profitable week.